Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am the Outback Al.
I'm hot for justice.
I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm Chibi.
And I'm Envy Jitters.
And we're here again checking out our top fives. I think we're in the top fours now. And this week, whose was it?
Me.
Envy. What did we watch?
Promised Neverland.
And the Promised Neverland. Season 1 specific. Well, I mean, every time we start something, we start from the beginning, so.
Yeah, it'd be weird to go into a random anime season. Just, okay, we're going to watch Season 4, Episode 1. All right, go ahead.
Or, a Season 3 recap episode of the past 2 seasons that someone hasn't seen. Totally fucking bizarre, right? Right? That'd be weird.
Yeah, I'm still kicking myself over that.
Don't. I honestly found it kind of funny by the end of it. At a certain point, It was just like, okay, what aren't you going to spoil? And I was just like, you were even laughing.
It was
a little
kind
bit.
of funny.
Yeah.
I felt bad for you, but it was kind of funny.
Whatever. I'll wait a year, see if I forget it, and then just start the series over.
Yeah.
Ugh. Enough about that. It's in the past. Envy, why don't you take us into what is the Promised Neverland?
Okay, well, The Promised Neverland is I don't want to call it a horror show. I call it more of a thriller type show. And
I agree with that.
It starts off, anytime it's not like a slice of life comedy show and you see the show start off how happy and cheery like it did, that's a red flag that something bad's gonna happen right off the gate. Like, even if you didn't know about the legacy of this show and what to us blind, again, knowing what type of show it is, it's like, okay, so a bunch of orphan kids are happily playing.
We should preface that literally everything we're about to talk about is going to be very spoilery, so if you didn't watch and you're just like looking to, what did we think about that? We're going to go into it. And because like even the first episode is like, there's some stuff, so...
Yeah.
Make sure you
like
watch
normally
this.
normally we have to talk about spoilers, but like with certain shows we can brush around it. But with The Promised Neverland, it's kind of very, very hard not to. So you're warned. So 3, 2, 1, you're warned. So The Promised Neverland starts out in an orphanage type setting. You have about 38 kids or so, give or take, in an orphanage, and they're all living their happily day lives. And the 3 oldest kids, Ray, Norman, and Emma, they're, the leaders, even though they're only 12 years old. And they, it's a happy-go-lucky orphanage, Granted, why are they wearing neck tattoos, you'll find out later. But for right now, it just seems, like an average, everyday orphanage. They're waiting to be adopted, and it seems certain kids go at certain times, and they're all being watched over by Mama Isabella, as they like to call her, although she's technically a sister Isabella. And, it seems like a normal everyday thing. Nothing out of the ordinary.
I thought she was dressed up as a maid, not a nun. Am I crazy?
They call her sister later on in the show. But later on they'll explain it. But she's sister Isabella. Anyway, so one of the kids, Connie, she's about to get adopted. And, everyone's happy for her. And, they have their happy goodbye, we'll see on the other side. Well, she forgot her bunny. She can't leave without her bunny. So Ray and Emma decide to go, and,
it was Norman and Emma. Ray doesn't
Norman
like to go
Emma.
out and do things.
Sorry, I forgot. Norman and Emma decide to, go out and, give Connie her bunny. And then that's when we find out that Connie's dead. So that's how episode 1 ends. You find out, wait, why is she dead?
With a
why is she in a truck?
Chest.
Yeah. And so basically episode 1 was when, obviously this was a pretty decently popular light novel series or manga series, but most people that were watching the show when it came out probably had no idea what the show was about. And so they saw the end of episode 1. They were probably like, what the hell just happened? Well, episode 2, you get you get a bit of an explanation. It turns out that all the kids in the orphanage are basically cows in a meat processing plant, essentially. They're tested every day. They're, kept in good shape because their whole purpose in life is to be sold off to monsters to be eaten, specifically their brains.
I'm sure they eat other parts too,
But mostly
Waste
their
not,
brains.
want not.
The monsters really love their brains.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, with that horrible realization, the main trio, Ray, Emma, and Norman, they obviously want to get the hell out of there and save the kids because, well, that otherwise they'd be dead. So they basically explore the area around Gracefield. That's the name of the place they're staying at, and they see a giant ass wall that they can, okay, a wall. We can climb over this. But unfortunately, Isabella finds out what happens to them in a pretty quick amount of time.
Yeah, they left the rabbit under the truck.
Yeah. And so they find out that Isabella has tracking devices implanted on their bodies. So not only are they caged animals ready to be placed in the slaughter, they can't really escape, otherwise they'd be caught. So it seems even more hopeless for them in their situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, Ray, who is kind of like Emma's got the free spirit, Norman's kind of like the political leader of the group. He's the one that gets everybody, together. He's like the voice of reason. And Ray is like the secret brain, so they basically convince Ray to try and help him out. Well, when something kind of goes right for them, Isabella decides to get a new helper, apparently, named Sister Crone, to basically keep an eye out on them so they can't escape. And that's how episode 2 ends. And then episode 3 pretty much involves around these, the same thing, the three of them trying to think of a way to escape with all the kids because, again, they're the three oldest and they're 12, so, trying to escape with a bunch of kids younger than 11 kind of would be a little difficult to say the least, so they need to think of a plan. And then, and I also mentioned too, a new baby came in at the end with Sister Crone, baby Carol, and then once, they take a look at the baby, they see that, the tracking devices, they're placed in their ear. So, yeah, keep that in mind for a future reference. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And then, basically, most of the episode revolves around, Crone trying to get used to everybody. And unlike Isabella, who's, very laid back and also very, quiet for the most part, Crone's kind of like the exact opposite. She's loud, she's boisterous, she's,
Psycho face.
Love her. Yeah, you could say that.
She got psycho face, man.
She's scary.
Yeah, most fans kind of have a love-hate relationship with her based on what happens to her, but I won't spoil it. So basically, they're trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to get a bunch of little kids to understand, the situation that they're in, while also not trying to freak them the F out, at least not yet. So they test them. Well, what do kids normally like to play at their age? Tag. Okay, tag. You can't let somebody tag you, otherwise you'll be it. So, ergo, training time in a way. Don't let the monsters or the humans get you, otherwise you're dead. So, run, Forrest, run. That's basically it. But then, Crone decides, I'm going to play tag too. And basically, Crone, catches wind of what they're doing, and then at the end, thinking that things can't get any worse, the main three thinks, okay, even if Isabella has tracking devices, and even if Isabella is smart, there's no way they can figure out what they're doing so quickly. Well, they think that there might be a traitor amongst them, and that's where episode 3 ends. The mystery continues.
Yep, things ain't good.
Yep.
So,
and keep in mind, I barely touched the surface of the idiosyncrasies of each thing. I kind of just cliff noted it as quickly as I could.
Yeah, I get it. So, I mean, there's also like a scene far away where there's something about the one is coming and the demons are all like, hey, we have to get the harvest ready. So yeah, it's a human farm, which explains the tattoos. God, I'm trying to think if there was anything you missed. I don't think you missed anything important. This was an interesting one. This was kind of a little bit like last time, where yeah. I'm seeing some similarities here between this and Shiki, at least in like. I don't think it's nearly as slow of a burn as Shiki, but it's definitely like sort of mystery. We have to put things together as we get information each episode, kind of deal. Like we know the immediate threat. We don't know why any of this is happening, but we know that the kids need to get away from them, and it's figuring out like how to get away from them. So far for their checklist, they have to clear a wall with a whole bunch of kids, some of which are barely walking. They have to remove tracking devices, and on top of that, have to find a way to survive outside the wall, which more than likely is a world controlled by demons. Not the best circumstances. So.
And they're kids. It's not like they're teenagers or young adults. They're kids. Children. Pretty smart kids for how old they are, but kids.
They do those testing things on them to measure how smart they are, and I guess that's how they're also deciding like who's getting taken out early. Like Connie got a 0 on her test, and that's why they took her out. They were just like, this one's not going to get any better. And I think the only reason that our three main characters have gotten to the age that they're at is because they keep getting perfect test scores. So they're like, ooh, that is the prime cut right there. We got to age that thing just right and make sure it stays good. Otherwise, it's not going to be as flavorful kind of deal. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think they said that, like, at age 12, they go no matter what.
Yeah.
And the three main characters are 11.
Yep.
Okay, I made that mistake there. I thought it was 13, but you're right, it was 11 to 12. So, yeah, that's even still, like, I don't know about you guys, but at age 11, I would not have been that tactical-minded, to say the least, to come up with all that shit.
I mean, I think it is saying, like, these are, like, prodigy-type kids, and the way that they were talking, God, I forgot the lady's psycho face's name. What was her name? Crone. The way Crone was talking about Isabella is, like, apparently this farm makes really, really smart ones. And, like, really good stock, if you will. And I think... I don't know. I think that's part of the thing is, like, we're supposed to understand that these are not, like, normal kids. But, like, on top of that, we were kind of, like... Me and Yin were kind of talking a little bit back and forth. Like, well, why would they wait? Why would they, like, stop at 12? As opposed to, like, just let them grow up and, like, get a really developed brain.
They do explain that later on in the show.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to say, but they do explain.
Wouldn't it start calcifying eventually?
My theory is more of a control situation. Like, it's much easier to either mentally or physically control a 12-year-old than it is an 18-year-old.
Because it's usually around...
I was wondering if puberty might have something to do with it.
Maybe. My thoughts
they
are
do
like
explain it. I don't want to give it away though.
I don't know if it's. I know it affects your brain and like everything else, but I don't know. Maybe that does affect the flavor. Like the extra hormones might fuck with it. But like again, I think just if you're trying to run a farm where everyone's docile, it's much easier to keep a 5 to 12-year-old happy with just happy days than a teenager going through puberty and suddenly bleeding. So. But, I don't know. Could be other reasons. I don't know what demon diet consists of other than brains, so... Yeah. So I said last week, like, oh, is this the one with the vampires eating children? It's not the vampires eating children, it's demons eating children. So close.
You were almost right.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the question I should ask everybody, since this is my show, what did everybody think?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting. I thought, like, I mean, you've said stuff like that season 2 is not that great, but I'd be at least interested in watching to the end of season 1 because I think, like, I mean, it's a prison break show. Like,
yes. And I will say this, this is kind of like the calm before the storm. This is like the planning.
Yeah.
Once they actually get into the implementation in the later episodes, it's I couldn't stop watching. I binged this show like I would like a normal Netflix show because it was that intense. I was on the edge of my seat watching it.
That's always where it gets really interesting. Like figuring out and like building whatever you got to build, piecing everything together and like getting your allies and keeping everything secret from the warden who's like got a watchdog on your ass the whole time, watching out for other prisoners who might be like ratting out on you. It's a good setup.
Yeah. I was like, I watched it on Tuesday. And I was like, ever since then, I was like, oh man, I want to keep watching it. Like, my brain is like, oh, what can I do now in my free time? And I'm like, I want to watch more episodes of The Promised Neverland because it's very interesting and it's fucked up. And
you ain't seen nothing yet. That's all I gotta say. Like, if you thought these 3 episodes were intense, whoo boy! Like, this show has so many freaking twists and turns and like just like so many reveals. It just like. Whew. And then the way it ends, again, I won't say anything, but the way it ends is very fitting given everything that's happened throughout the show.
Okay, they're all dead. We get it.
Well, I said fitting, not morbid.
Now we know they're not all dead.
Also, the opening is so good. I was like, as soon as I heard it, I was like, this sounds like a band that I've heard before. And it totally was. Don't they sing the BNHA opening, the like 4th opening?
I mean, maybe.
I could have sworn they were like, hold on, I'm gonna find it out because I have.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
I looked it up.
I saw Overworld or however you pronounce it, and I was like at first I was thinking, oh, this sounds like the BNHA opening, and then I saw Overworld, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that is the people I think it is, and yeah, I really enjoyed the opening. It's very good, like with the like music and the visuals. Like,
I don't know, I didn't really think the song really matched.
Didn't fit for me.
Yeah.
But it was a good song in and of itself.
It's just, it felt
didn't,
weird.
Yeah, it felt like it didn't fit the show.
I don't know, like tonally or something. It just didn't work for me that much.
I like the song on its own, though.
See, I thought it was good.
I'm not saying the song's bad. Good. It's just like it didn't feel like it matched with what we were seeing.
And I think the show I was really interested in as well. I think it definitely has a lot of twists and keeps moving really fast. I thought sometimes, like, maybe I would have preferred a little bit more mystery in the beginning because they did answer, like, all my questions about, oh, yeah, they're harvesting the kids and stuff at the end of the first episode. Like, maybe I would have liked it to be dragged out a little bit for the suspense, but not too much. Like, maybe just a few more episodes I would have liked them to be questioning more instead of just, okay, yeah, mom's the bad guy and the demons are the bad guys and stuff like that. But it definitely didn't ruin it for me. I definitely still found it really exciting, and I think it's a really well-made show, so I'm definitely interested in watching more.
Chibi, what do you think?
So, here's the thing. I was kind of bored with it. Sorry.
Interesting.
I I mean, you're allowed to have your own opinion. Believe me,
my whole thing is, and this is like a point that Yin definitely has, like, I would have preferred to have like that first episode's little story, where them finding out where the kids are actually going was held out for a bit longer, because I feel like that would have been a really interesting mystery to talk about for like maybe half of a season. Like, and then when they figure out, oh shit, we're being harvested to be fed to monsters, and like them finding out what's going on a little more slowly would have definitely worked a lot better for me.
I don't know. I don't think that it would have been possible to do that.
Really?
Like, well, I'm just trying to think, like, okay, so what would be the hook then? Like, do they find Connie, but then they run away, and they're like, well, what happened? Or are you saying they don't know anything for half a season?
Like, they slowly start figuring it out. Like, hints are being dropped here and there. Like, something's not adding up with what they have been told. And, like, just a little bit, like, sprinkling it out to, like, keep the mystery going for a little bit longer. So it's like the kids are kind of a little more, like, suspicious in what's going on. So the horror can kind of, like, sort of, like, build up, I guess. I don't know. It felt like it was just dropped right there in front of me, and I'm like, yeah, I expected this to happen, but at the same time, like, I feel like it could have used a little more build up.
Okay, I get what you're saying. I do, but then they're kids, though. I think they had that moment in the first episode where they're like, yeah, you ever notice that all the kids who get adopted never write back to us or anything, or any of that kind of stuff, but they just brush it away, like, maybe they're having great lives, and we're gonna all have great lives. Like, they're so conditioned that they're never going to start to suspect things. I think this comes back to, like, why they don't let them grow into, like, teenagers and that. Because that's when they're going to start really questioning a whole bunch of stuff. They have a whole library that for some reason has a whole bunch of knowledge that I wouldn't give to someone that I'm trying to keep captive, but like, whatever.
And that's fine, but at the same time, it's, I don't know, I want the mystery of it all. Like, mystery thriller. Like, whereas I understand, like, this is more like just a straight up thriller. Mm-hmm. But I would have preferred a bit more mystery.
Yeah, I will say this. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just gonna say, I think I definitely didn't have a problem with them finding the body. I wanted that to happen. It's just I didn't think they needed to show the demons right away. Because I would have rather wondered, okay, I mean, I kind of figured that it was something like harvesting, but I didn't need to know it was like monsters right away.
Yeah, like, I would have preferred... I would have preferred that.
Yeah, maybe, like, I could see what you're saying. Like, maybe, like, take 2 or 3 episodes for them to, like, question what the hell's going on, and maybe then they go back and they...
I don't know. I really feel like you got to have that body in the first, because, like, that's your hook.
The body, I think,
that's your
good.
Hook into the whole series. Because, like, otherwise, you know,
they would have been blissfully ignorant otherwise.
Like, yeah, because then it's literally just slice of life at a weird orphanage. And people probably would have dropped.
No, I think, like, it still would have had other stuff going for it, but I definitely think the body was the hook. I just didn't feel like I needed to see the monsters right away.
Like, had they had the kids just flat out run, and we didn't get to see who the monsters were, that I would have been fine with. Like, I would have been fine thinking they were just a bunch of humans. It's like for at least a little bit.
Yeah, it's like when you're watching a horror movie, you want to see the shadow of the monster. You don't want to see the monster right away.
Okay, I hear what you guys are saying. I do.
You know, it's just creepier and more interesting.
I get it. But everything else that we've seen so far, and, like, if I'm going off of what I can predict will be, you know, at least the realm of possibilities of what we're going to see. What we're seeing at the orphanage, yeah, it does look very human, like humans do this. We have a human mother, another human assistant mom, human-esque technology with the walls and the trucks and the tracking devices and whatnot. This is all very, like, in the realm of, like, our reality kind of thing. horrifying, yes, still, but still within the realm of our reality. If you have to then wait till way, way later, possibly the end of the season or series, to suddenly drop, oh, by the way, there are demons.
That's not what I was saying. I said a few episodes.
I'm just saying, even when you drop it later, it's like, okay, this feels out of nowhere.
It would have
this
been
feels
fine.
you start to get into a Shyamalan twist. It was the plants.
No, I don't
what the
agree.
Fuck? Who came up with that?
You would have dropped hints throughout the first 5 or so episodes that something with demons is going on, but I just felt like I didn't need to see them right away. Once again, it didn't ruin it for me. I still think it's great, but I just think I wanted a little more mystery is all.
I just question how you're gonna drop hints about demons and not just be like, hey, it's demons. Like, what do you do? Do you have allusions to biblical stuff, like texts or whatever? At a certain point, people are just like, oh, that's this theming.
Do we even know for sure they're demons?
They say they're demons.
Yeah.
But, like, demons doesn't necessarily mean, like, biblical demons. Like, we don't know what they are yet.
Okay, there's some sort of infernal-esque monster. Maybe not even infernal. They're monsters. They are supernatural monsters.
I will say that. I'll say 2 things. One thing is... Well, I'll say 3 things. One, I can totally see where Chibi and Yin are coming from. I think their points are very valid. I do agree somewhat. Maybe it could have been another episode before they revealed the demon twist. Number 2... I'll just state right now that they are demons. They're not biblical demons, but they are demons that are part of a hierarchy system. So they're
Japan. It's not necessarily all going to be Judeo-Christian stuff. It's just they're monsters.
Well, you said biblical, so I was like,
okay, but hey, Japan loves to drop biblical text for flavor.
And then
at that point, it's thematics.
And then
that wasn't all I had to say about what I thought of it. But
I'm sorry. I was going to say, and then number 3 real quick. Most of the mystery of this show revolves around, 1, how the kids are going to get out, 2, who's the traitor, and 3, how Isabella is connected with the demons and how the society works with their orphanage and stuff like that. So that's where most of the mystery comes in. Like, I think you get the big twist of, holy shit, they're demons eating kids. And then the rest of the series is, how are they going to escape it? And why is it like that in the first place? And I will say they do answer both of those questions by the end of the season. But sorry to interrupt you, Chibi. Go ahead, back to what you were going to say.
No, that's fine. My only other thing that I had to say was, I could have used a little more intensity, I guess. Like, when I'm watching a thriller, I want to feel like I'm on the edge of my seat. I feel like I want to be, like, in suspense. I want to really, really want to see, like, how these characters are going to get out of this situation. And I don't know if it's just the art style or if it's just, like, it's sort of how I kind of would prefer to see things done. I don't know if the manga would have just been a better, like, media for me to consume for this particular story, but I just wasn't feeling it quite as much as I had hoped I would.
And that's fine. Yeah, I mean, all the stuff that you were thinking of, like I said earlier, once the show gets going, like really going in the next couple episodes, it just, like, it rides a momentum train that I didn't want to get off of. So maybe I would say give it one more chance, but I can totally understand where you're coming from, too. Not everybody feels the same way about certain things. And I will say this, too. This season covers the first 38 chapters of the manga, so I don't know what they did in comparison. They certainly did a better job with this season than the second season, but if you want to maybe give the manga a try, it's completely finished, so you can...
Yeah, I knew that, so I think the library actually has it on ebook form, so I might actually check that out instead to see if it actually, like, holds up a bit better. So
that is interesting that this season is going to cover 38 chapters and there are 38 kids. I'm sure that's just a coincidence, but I just find it kind of funny.
Well, it covers the first 2 arcs of the manga. It's basically, the first arc is very short. It's basically the introduction and, you know, how they're going to get up to their escape. And then the second arc is the prison escape arc, which is basically them escaping the orphanage.
Yeah, I feel like that would be the majority of this.
The only thing I got a question about is that, like, so you said, Envy, that they spend, like, the rest of the season trying to figure out who the traitor is, but I felt like they were just about to find out who the traitor was, like, this next episode, pretty much.
I don't want to
start looking.
I don't want to spoil it because, again, this show has so many twists, and you think one twist is one thing, but it ends up being another. And it sounds confusing, but it works out in the end. But again, I don't really want, like, they later on they find out who the traitor is, but then they think it's something else, so they want to give that person the benefit of the doubt. So it's a lot of crisscrossing and back and forth. It's I don't want to give away too much, but it's.
I think it's Norman.
It could be. I was totally, you know what? It's so funny. It's so funny you just said that, because I was thinking they totally make it out to be the glasses girl, and, like, this
That's
last
not
episode.
What, Gilda?
It's too obvious.
You thought Gilda was the traitor?
They totally make it out to seem like it was gonna be her, but then I was thinking about it in, like, the past minute. I was like, what if it's Norman?
It's Norman.
We
were discussing this. We were discussing, like, where does, like, the moms get their, like, where do they come from? They're human. And, you know, we were thinking, like, okay, what if, you know, if you're smart enough and they did pick you out, what if, like, they were at one of these orphanages and they were selected to run one, and Norman's making a shot at being a dad. I don't know.
Well, I'll just say this. They do explain Isabella's backstory and where she comes from later on in the season. And I'll just say this.
They have to.
Isabella,
I'm so glad.
Isabella has been considered, like, one of the best anime villains in recent memory. Like, she may not have been, you know, amazing these first 3 episodes. She kind of seemed, you know, generic, but the way they develop her later on in the second half of the season, she actually won the Crunchyroll Award for Best Villain in 2020. Wow. So,
well, it's not hard when you're murdering children.
I didn't think
like,
we
have to
give
like that's like but... can we throw out there, like, the total amount of evil things that Shao Tucker did, in the grand scale of things, not huge, but he did it to a child and a dog and caused traumatic, like, a lot of trauma to the main character. That's why he's remembered. It's not like for, you know, it's usually quality over quantity kind of deal. And, like, come on. Who do you think is the worst person? You know, some guy who's gonna, like, fight a bunch of armies or do whatever else, or the one who's harvesting children? Of course they're gonna win Best Villain.
She even has her own song at the end of the season.
Oh, that's gonna be creepy as hell, I bet. Do you know
Agatha all along?
Oh, that's a bop.
It's not the way you think. I'll just say that.
We don't know what we think. We're not. I really don't think it's gonna be like Agatha all along. That was
Probably
way
not,
too much
no,
of a
no,
like
no.
a fun little fun twist kind of deal.
But,
she murdered a dog though.
Yeah,
so.
she did.
Well, Chibi was mentioning art style earlier, so I guess the other $1 million
hold
question.
up. I want to say who I think that the traitor is. I think it's Cat Smile Kid.
Who?
Cat Smile?
He's like 6 or something. He's got brown hair, and he has like the widest mouth of anyone there.
Oh my god.
And he's always around them, and he's always like smiling at them with like these creepy looking smile.
You take that back. Phil is amazing. Phil is best boy.
Phil's a murderer.
I don't know about that one.
I'm telling you. Hey, you know what? I called it in Kanata no Astra way earlier than anyone else did. I'm telling you right now, Phil's a killer.
I mean, I'm not.
I know a killer when I see one, and that is a killer.
I mean, I'm not gonna say you're wrong, but I did mention Phil as best boy. So if I were to say that, do you think I would say the same thing if he was the traitor?
You know what? Some people call Light Yagami best boy. He's a fucking genocidal maniac.
He is.
Throw that in there for a minute.
No, they're just thirsty for
I've
Light
never
now
heard
fanfic.
that.
But anyway, Chibi was mentioning art style, so I guess I have to ask the $1,000,000 question, especially to you, Al. Did you guys get used to the faces, or were you creeped out by them?
They look fucking weird, dude.
Yeah.
Too much chin, too much forehead.
Dude, I don't have a problem with them. I don't know why you guys think they're weird. It kind of looks
doesn't
like
take me out of it.
Miyazaki or so. You know how Miyazaki
It doesn't
faces
look like
are kinda
Miyazaki.
like that? No, but you know what I mean? Like the little childish faces. Like that's just kind of how it is.
There's childish faces, and then there's small face.
They
Everybody
don't
got
look
shrunken
that
face.
weird.
You guys ever see that Dick Tracy movie? What am I saying? No one's seen that movie. I'm not even like shocked
I
that
have
you guys
no
might
idea
not
what
even
you
heard
mean.
of it.
The live
But it's
action
like,
one?
It was actually a lot. Oh, you've heard of this?
I've heard of the
With,
live action Dick Tracy.
Warren
but-
Beatty.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, they did like a lot of actually kind of bizarrely impressive prosthetic work with a lot of the actors to give them like this weird comic book like features. And there's like one that his name is just Smallface because he has a big head and his face is tiny. And that's like what I'm looking at with each of these characters, especially Connie. Just like small face all over the place.
I don't know. I think the animation looks really good.
It didn't take me out of it. I think animation, if we're separating animation and art style, I think the animation is good. And the adults look normal. Look totally well.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like trying to portray a childlike face with the like small.
A childlike
faces
face
and
is
stuff.
just a small version of an adult face.
I don't know how
you
to
don't have an
describe it. You know, like a
adult-sized
chubby
head.
little kid.
You don't have an adult-sized head with a face the size of a child-sized head.
I mean,
I think it looks.
it's
fine.
pretty accurate to what the manga is. I will say that.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. Like
It didn't take me out of it.
I made a post, or like I posted on Snapchat a picture of like Emma's face, like at the very beginning of like the show where she's looking through the fence.
Yeah.
And I captioned it and I was like, that face. And one of my friends who likes anime responded back and it was like, is perfect for devouring or something weird like that. And I was like,
You're spoiling
well, at that point, like I had already like watched, but like seen the first episode, so I like knew that like
Yeah.
they were gonna, like kids were getting eaten or whatever, but like by the time she replied, but like it was just like okay. But yeah, I like there were some points in the show where I would just look at the screen and I'd see like their little faces and I'd be like, okay. Like this animation's a little weird. But it wasn't like that the whole time. Like I think the adult faces looked like fine besides for like them purposely making them look like creepy.
Yeah, they grew into their heads.
Yeah, but and Ray looked fine because he had his like bangs to cover up his forehead.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of them were just kind of like
They
I
are
don't know.
all
But
chin and forehead.
But it did like grow on me though. Like I'm sure once I go back to watch more episodes, I'll probably be like, oh, there's the face again. But then like as I keep watching it, like I barely notice.
Did you guys
it,
notice
so
that?
it's
I
not-
don't know if he's been featured a lot yet, but did you guys see the little boy that's pretty much like a mini-me version of Norman? Like the same kind of face structure and head and anything like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw
Yeah.
That's the only one that kind of creeps me out.
had
Fans
a
are
thought.
fans are making fun of him all throughout the first and second season.
Okay. Yeah, but he's mostly in the background, and I can't always fault people for not doing background faces well. So it's
Yeah.
We had a theory, we had a thought, because new kid, the new baby that showed up, kind of
Yeah.
looks like Emma.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so where do the babies come from?
That is a good question.
We're thinking test tube babies, and they might all be related.
Well, you see, Al, when when two people really love each
Buddy,
other.
buddy, ain't no love in this world. Ain't no love in this world. We already know that. I'm wondering, like, what if they just, like...
Or what if they just breed humans? Like, we don't know.
I guarantee you they're breeding humans, but, like,
That's
a good question.
here's the thing. When you have, like, selective breeding or something, like, you have, like, let's say you have a really good racehorse. You want to breed it with another really good racehorse. You don't want to breed it with a donkey.
Right.
So, what if all of these kids are, like, all a little bit related because they're coming from, like, the best of the best stock?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
So that could be Emma's brother, sister. I forget what it was.
That
but,
baby definitely looked like her.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the
Yeah,
one
it
kid
did.
looks like Norman? What if that's his little brother
Yeah.
and he has no idea?
Yeah, it could be.
What were you going to say?
Who?
I feel like I interrupted
No,
somebody.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Okay.
Nah. But
Just
yeah,
more
that's
theorizing.
it's a good theory.
I mean,
I
it
was
makes
wondering-
sense. Like,
Yeah.
I know we're not in the same world, but I could kind of look and see, like, the kind of the same thing going on with, like, if you look at the Matrix or whatever else, and, like, they breeding humans in farms, it's probably all, like, incubation and, like, test tube baby shit. I mean, I don't know. Or they're
Yeah.
cloning them. Who knows? This could be Jurassic Park,
It's
but for people.
totally possible they could be cloning them.
True. In which case, you know what? Hey, if you get a really, really good one, like an Emma, a Norman, or a Ray, you could just clone them again and try to get the same kind of good meat.
Yeah.
Maybe we got a Canonium Astra, and little brother Norman is actually Norman.
Oh jeez.
Be weird to put him in the same camp, but whatever.
I'm just keeping my.
This is probably all totally inaccurate.
I'm just keeping my mouth
Yeah.
shut. I'm not gonna say a damn thing.
Yeah, keep your mouth shut. Let us run in our circles for a little bit longer. It's comfy.
Hey, I'm glad that you guys were intrigued by it to do all this theorizing. I was kind of, to be completely honest, I was expecting everybody to hate it whenever we came to record this. Like, no, man, this ain't for me, dog. So I was like, okay.
I think you
What?
should probably give everyone except for me a little more credit for their taste in things.
Well, no,
I mean,
my
I'm down. What were you saying?
No, I mean, I again, if you guys didn't like it, it's not like I would have been mad or anything like that. I was just like you guys know how much I love it. It's my number 4 ranked show of all time, so I didn't expect you guys to all come out, guns blazing, saying, "Oh my gosh, the hype is real," or something like that.
Nah, I know what you mean. I was scared when we did Shiki that like no one was gonna like it because it's so slow. So
Hey, if you
but
guys
that
don't
was
like
the
mine, that just
best
means you don't have taste.
part. I love the suspense.
I'm
Just watching it unfold.
I'm down for anything where I have the chance to
watch
learn
children
something.
die.
Come on, man. we had a whole discussion about this. I'm like the only person who didn't pick a show in which a bunch of children got killed. Very close. Digimon is very close, but they nearly get eaten a bunch of times. But you know what? That doesn't actually happen. But yeah, I'm down for something. It's got a good hook in the beginning. Kind of like, again, we're comparing like shows, I think, a little bit, and like Envy. I know your number 1 is Steins Gate. That's kind of a similar situation where like the majority of the episode is all just very, air quotes, normal, weird characters, yes, but normal life kind of whatever. And then you have that hook at the end of the episode that hooks you in to find out what's going on. And I think like it does really well with that. Shiki also has that a little bit. I think like you had a little bit more mystery going throughout it because there was already the stuff about like the epidemic and stuff like that, the disease and things like that. But like it was just that little extra, girl went missing kind of thing that like kind of really drove it home. Like that'll hook you. So I think like that really helps with this. And like I think so far like it's interesting. It's like there's just a lot to really to look into with it.
Yeah.
So
My advice to you is, if you want to finish the season, which I imagine most of you will, watch this first season and don't even bother with the second season. Just read the manga because...
Wow.
Can I ask? I'm not going to ask for a whole lot of detail here. Is it a situation where they just didn't follow the manga, or is it a situation where it's just so poorly adapted?
They basically
just skip a whole arc.
No. They skipped 4 arcs straight into the final arc of the show.
Okay,
Wow.
wow. Okay, that's...
Basically, there was 11 episodes.
The
first 3 episodes were actually pretty good.
Wow.
The first 3 episodes of season 2 actually had the same amount of tension and suspense as season 1. And then from there, they just pretty much hit fast forward. Especially, there was a fan favorite arc called Goldie Pond, which I won't go into details because that implies spoilers for the first season, but let's just say it had a very interesting setting that would have been perfectly made for animation, and they didn't do it. And basically, you know how the old saying is show, no tell? Well, basically, season 2, because they fast forwarded everything, because they probably were told to wrap everything up in 11 episodes,
Oh, good God. They super exposition.
not only do they super exposition dump, they pull stuff out of their ass to make it fit with the confines of the manga without properly explaining it. So it's characters do certain things, and you're thinking, wait, when did they have time to do this? When does this happen? What the fuck is going on? And then the real shit kicker, you're gonna love this. The finale of the show, the last 5 minutes, they tell the resolution of the story in slideshows. No motion, slideshows.
Oh.
What?
They end the show like
do
that. Yeah.
No.
Wow.
It's the most... you know what?
Haven't even seen it, and I'm already a little pissed off.
I'm just going to say this. I think it beats Tokyo Ghoul Season 2 as the most hated anime sequel of all time now.
I never watched that.
But, well...
Same.
I'll just say this. It's at like a 5.6 rating on Mal right now. Which, yeah.
With
There's nothing else like that?
the second... Wait, what are we talking about?
The
Which
second
one
season.
has that rating?
As a 5.6 out of 10.
Of this one or Tokyo Ghoul?
Promised Neverland Season 2.
Okay.
Uh,
I don't go on Mal. I don't know if that's like terrible
That's bad.
or not. I know it's like out of 10 kind of thing.
It's
Okay.
bad.
Nothing else gets lower than a 5?
Yeah, you'd have to be basically...
Has to be
You'd
something.
have to... There is stuff worse, but you'd have to basically be either a crime against humanity or piss poor animation. Like Gav's favorite show, Poopa, that got a 3.
it's not my favorite
I'm
show.
joking.
I kind of want to watch it.
You don't want to watch
Like,
it.
I don't know, like...
Yeah.
Please don't watch it.
Okay, you guys are making me want to watch it more. Like, is it, like, bad, like, people hate the content,
Just
or bad,
watch
like,
one
it's
episode
just
and
awful?
you'll see.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
That.
okay. Then yeah, maybe
Yes.
not. I don't know. If it's like, because here's the thing, like we all went to that Room screening. I love a train wreck.
Yeah.
No.
Like, that's fun.
It's not charmingly bad like The Room.
Okay.
It's basically, if you
It's
talked
just
about it
like-
on YouTube, you'll get flagged.
Is it gore porn?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm not really into
Oh,
that.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, Promised Neverland. Basically going back, watch the first season and then read the manga if you're inclined to see how the story goes. Because basically what happened is that the manga didn't end on the best of note with a lot of people. A lot of people didn't like the ending. And so when season 2 was announced, the original mangaka came back to help write season 2. Some people thought, okay, as the seasons go along, you know, assuming that the show would get multiple seasons, they would fix what didn't work in the manga and make it work better. Nope. They basically rushed to the final arc of the show, and the authors somehow made their story even worse than it was in the manga. So,
What if it was out of spite? Like they were like, "Oh, you didn't like my ending? Well, here's how it could have ended."
Now I'm
Wait,
just
so
wondering what... Oh, go ahead.
So season 2 ends the whole thing?
yes, they literally wrap the whole story of the whole series in 11 episodes, by literally skipping 4 arcs to the final arc.
Because aren't there
Damn.
like 200 chapters, or is there less than that?
Yes.
Wow.
I think around there, but yes. They
mean,
literally.
With
Yeah.
with about 20 volumes, it has to be around that many.
Damn.
Wow.
I'm like, wow, why'd they do that?
Well, it sounds to me like I need to watch the rest of this season, finish the manga, and then come back to watch season 2 just to watch the train wreck.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's starting to sound like, at the very least, if I already know what happens and I've seen the, air quotes, good version, I guess, I mean, I can then just enjoy the bad version, right?
I mean, I never read the manga either. I just know that when the season came out this year, that I read a lot of opinions and videos from manga readers, and they were just more or less dumbfounded that they would skip arguably the most famous arc of the show, even beyond the Prison Break arc.
Really?
Because I mean, like, again, the first 3, it's an 11 episode season. The first 3 episodes I thought were actually pretty good. Like, it kept the same amount of tension and mystery and suspense, but then episodes 4 and 5, they kind of deviate from the material a little bit by getting rid of a fan favorite character entirely. Like, he doesn't even show up. And then from episode 5, they do everyone's favorite cliche, a 1-year time skip, and then that's when it all goes downhill from there.
Ooh.
You know, it's gotta be like, sorry, now I'm just like thinking about Tokyo Ghoul. Because you mentioned how it has a low second season rating, which I just checked out my anime list and saw that. And like, I'm wondering if they did something similar with that show, because I was really into Tokyo Ghoul back in the day. Like, I watched, like, it was one of my favorites back in, like, 2015. And I watched the anime, and then I read the manga, and I got to, like, where, like, I got past, like, where the second season is and stuff, and then, like, the other arcs, like, the Tokyo Ghoul RE, arcs, like, part of the manga, and I remember it being really good. I just stopped reading it because I don't even know why I stopped reading it. I don't think it was for any particular reason, I just did, but, I just, like, fell out of it. But, like, I remember it being really, really good, and the, like, manga for it has, like, an 8 on, like, my anime list, so I'm wondering what, like, happened to give it that, like, 6 rating.
From what I heard, again, this is coming from someone who's never seen Tokyo Ghoul or read it before. From what I heard from people that discussed it, they changed some things with the stories and some of the characters' actions and motivations that completely went against the original source, and that pissed off a lot of people.
I heard something about, like, a 5-minute walking sequence.
What?
Someone
Really?
just, like, walking through the snow for, like, 5 minutes? I don't know.
Interesting.
I might be, like, I don't know.
Was that like an inner monologue kind of deal?
You know, I don't know. I just keep seeing something about, like, someone's carrying somebody else through the snow for, like, apparently it went on for a really long time.
I mean, I can understand, like, that sort of sequence if, like, they're talking, like, in their head and they're, like, sort of, like, you know, speaking the thoughts in their head, and it's...
Yeah,
I can understand that with a
that sounds
5-minute
fine.
long walking sequence.
I don't know that that's what happened, because, like, I think everyone was complaining about it.
You know,
Okay.
my whole thing, I think people just love to change what happens in manga where demons eat people. As we can see with The Promised Neverland and Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh, God. What's that say about Demon Slayer Season 2 is going to be coming out? Dude, don't say something like that. I want that to be good.
Ufotable would have to basically be out of their minds if they change the way that arc ends for the second season.
I was gonna say, I'm in the middle of that arc right now, and it's a good arc, and I definitely feel they would be shooting themselves in the foot if they were to do that.
Because they mostly were pretty much accurate for the first season and the movie, so like, why would they change course?
Well, if this is a trend.
So was Promised Neverland a different studio from the first season? I'm trying to figure out where it went wrong.
No, well, Promised Neverland was done by a studio called Cloverworks. They're a subsidiary of AYoN Pictures. They did. I don't know if you guys ever saw Darling in the Franxx. They made that show Trigger a few years ago.
I've heard about it.
Yeah, they Gab, you would definitely know this one. They made Persona 5 the animation.
I never watched that one. I refuse to watch any of the Persona animations because I'm scared.
It wasn't bad. They were just basically trying to condense a 100-hour plus game into 25 episodes.
Yeah,
that sounds kind of hilarious.
That's why I won't do Persona anime, because I'm like, I enjoy the games too much. I don't want it ruined for me.
And Chibi, you were watching. Did you watch Shadow's House this season?
So the thing is that it's on Funimation, and I do have a Funimation account, but I stopped paying for a subscription, so I haven't been watching it. So
okay, well they're animating that this season, and they've done a few other shows. They've only been around since 2018, so they have done some good shows, but I don't think anything you guys would recognize beyond those ones.
I may not watch Shadow House then. Because I feel like the animation would probably not sit with me very well if it's the same.
It's not the same animation as Promised Neverland.
Okay.
They did a show in a winter season of this year called Wonder Egg Priority. It looks fucking gorgeous.
I have not.
Yeah, Wait, what?
No. Not that Wonder Egg Priority wasn't beautifully drawn, but wasn't that the anime that had like some controversy surrounding it at one point? Or
I mean, it tackles a bunch of serious stuff, like really serious stuff, like mental health, suicide.
That's not what I'm talking about at all.
What are you talking about?
Oh,
are you talking behind the scenes stuff?
Yeah, which anime was it that caused all that commotion with the overworked animators in the studio and stuff like that?
Oh, that's a bunch. Yeah, Cloverworks, Mappa. Mappa got recently accused of overworking its staff, which I can totally understand for all the stuff they've been doing. But yeah, Cloverworks, they were trying to do 3 shows in one season, so they basically overworked their employees to death. They were doing Wonder Egg, Promised Neverland Season 2, and Horimiya in one season, which...
Oh, God.
Yeah. And Wonder Egg Priority technically isn't even finished. Like, they aired its 12 episodes, but one of the episodes had to get scrapped and basically be a recap episode, and
aren't they
basically allowing them to... They're doing a 1-hour finale.
I was going to say, aren't they doing, like, the
30th,
special edition that's going to premiere sometime this summer?
Yes, they basically allowed them to basically make its actual ending because it's an anime original show. So they basically they gave them extra time to do like a 1-hour finale to wrap up the story of the show. Which the show itself is actually really good. It does tackle. It's very abstract. It almost kind of reminds me of something that would be a good Satoshi Kon stuff. Like if you like Paprika and Perfect Blue, you might like that show because it tackles serious issues in a very abstract way. It doesn't just come out and say, these things are bad. Like it does it in a very unique way. So I'd recommend that if you like that. But yeah, don't work on 3 shows in one season because that's not healthy.
Yeah, I was interested in that show. It looked really beautiful.
I know we've been going off on a bunch of tangents, but I'm glad, to talk about stuff that I'm watching recently.
Yeah. You and me have been going into a lot of older stuff lately, haven't we?
Really?
Well, like Ranma and stuff.
I think that's the only one.
Well, we also watched
I like
Naruto
Ranma,
before.
though.
That's not exactly new.
It's not like Ranma.
Okay, that's fair.
Not that old.
So, anything else to say about The Promised Neverland?
All I can say is that for those that want to continue watching it, I think, again, I can't predict how everyone will feel at the end, but I'm going to predict that if you guys watch it, you won't be disappointed on how it ends. I'm willing to bet my pride on that.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
I'm interested for sure.
Well, that sounds like a decent enough endorsement, and I'd endorse this as well, at least from the first 3 episodes. I'd say it's probably going to be an interesting season, at the very least.
Yeah.
What are we doing next week? We're going to move right along into some of our other number 4s. Who won the coin toss? Gav, was that you?
Yeah, it was me.
Cool. Tell them what we're watching.
Number 6.
No, that's your number 4. What's your number 4?
Not this again. We're watching the anime called Number 6.
And what is the anime called Number 6?
Like, what is it about?
In 10 words or less.
Oh no.
Okay.
1. 2.
Gay V for Vendetta.
There you go.
Okay, he did it in 6, people.
That's how you described it before, so like...
That is how I described it before. That's pretty accurate overall.
Okay, well. Okay, are we talking about graphic novel V for Vendetta or movie V for Vendetta?
Yeah, both, I guess. I'll probably say movie,
Okay. Yeah, a little bit
because
more movie.
the book gets into way deeper stuff than the movie does.
Oh yeah, I've read both. I love both, but yeah, obviously the movie and book kind of differ towards the end.
Yeah, definitely much more movie V for Vendetta. Because, like, V and Evie did not have a thing in the book.
No.
No.
Well.
No. She had that thing with that other guy.
Yeah. I think V was just an idea.
Yeah. As he should be. In that context. Anywho, come back for Gay V for Vendetta. Number 6. The number 4. For Gab. The number 2 guy who says his name in the lineup. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hi.
I didn't have an outro, sorry. Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoy this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!